teachers, if you will check to make
Good. I'll try it again. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you for the few that answered. I am Mrs. Foltz. I am the choir director, and I am the director of the musical. High school is putting on the musical Peter Pan Jr., and we are super excited about it. Woohoo! The show will be next week, and you need to get your tickets now. I will be sending out an email with the information on it. And we have posters. Pirates! Ah! The terrible Captain Hook and the pirates, who will look much more piratey next week. Our show is next week, next Thursday and Friday at 7 p.m. And on Saturday, we have a noon and a 5 o'clock show. Do buy your tickets early because we have very limited seating. It will be right here in this very building using a few more sets than what we have here.
You are all expected to be in attendance, or else you'll have to deal with the hook, or worse, Miss Foltz.
Woo! Be afraid, be very afraid. Hope to see y'all there next week. Bye.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay, before I introduce the speakers, I'm going to open us in prayer. So everyone bow your heads. Dear Lord, thank you for this great day. Thank you for letting us all gather here today and learn more about Hoops for Hope and access to success from our speakers. I pray that we all have a great rest of the day and a great rest of the week. Amen. All right, so guys, if you remember, past couple of years, we've done Hoops for Hope, where we collect shoes to send to Nigeria for kids in Nigeria. And so today we're going to have Uche and Laura come and talk about Access to Success and what they do for that. And Uche is going to have her own story. And our kickoff for Hoops for Hope is going to be March 6th, so keep a lookout for that. So I'm going to give them a round of applause.
Thank you. Awesome. All right, how is everybody today? Yeah! Awesome! Oh my gosh, that's the best energy yet. Okay, my name is Laura. I work for Access to Success. This is Uche. She is my friend and coworker. Who has heard of Access to Success other than what she just said just now? Okay, cool. But we've all heard about Hoops for Hope before. Okay, so I'll explain a little bit. Access to Success is like the organization that organizes Hoops for Hope. And what we are is a nonprofit organization that works out of Nigeria. We have our U.S. office here that does our fundraising and runs our U.S. Scholars Program, and then most of our programs are in Nigeria. So our mission is to provide sustainable programs that generate positive change for Nigerian children in their communities. And basically what we're trying to do is we're working with a community that is living in what's called extreme poverty. So these are families that are living on less than $1 a day generally. And we're trying to provide that love and consistency that they need through our program so that they can fulfill God's plan for their life. So we do that in a couple of different ways. We have an after-school academy where children come, they get a hot meal, they get tutoring, they get built up in all aspects of life, physical, spiritual, academically. And then we also have a scholars program. We have university scholars who come and study here in the U.S. Uche is the beneficiary of that program. Sorry, I'm talking too fast. And we also have about 68 scholars in Nigeria as well. And then we have an entrepreneurship program. We're trying to encourage people in our community to not just be job seekers, but to also be job creators. So that's kind of how our organization has been growing over time. But Uche here is one of our former scholars. She came to the U.S. how many years ago?
I'm going on 8 now.
This is going to be her 8th year in the U.S., so that's super cool. But she grew up in Nigeria. We found her through our basketball camp, so she's a direct beneficiary of Hoops for Hope. Once upon a time, she got a pair of shoes, and she's going to tell you that story and how she ended up here. Take it away.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Uchechi, but I go by Uche. The meaning behind my name means the heart of God. So when I go by Uche, it just means the heart. I am the missions program coordinator at Access to Success, and what that does, or what my position do, is we have 7 scholars from Nigeria that are schooling in the United States, and I am part of that program, so I get to help them navigate the educational system here. And we also take trips to Nigeria. After donating shoes and stuff, we take trips to Nigeria, so I help organize people from here that wants to go to Nigeria to experience our program. But before that, I was born and raised in Nigeria. I came from a family of 7. I have my mom, my dad. I have 2 older sisters. I'm right in the middle, and I have 2 younger brothers. My younger brother, today's his birthday, actually. He goes to Rice University. He's 6'11". He plays basketball there. So if you guys think I'm tall, I think you guys can say he's long because I'm tall. So my dad sells used books, and my mom sells used clothes. What that is it's kind of like similar to Goodwill, but a way down version of Goodwill. And we live off of $3 a day. So when I was 16, I just turned 16, my sister got admitted into the university, and my dad had a family meeting and asked us, me and the rest of us, to drop out of school so we can use that money that we use in going to school to put my sister through university, and everyone takes turns after that. So I was attending what was my last semester of school, and we were supposed to start our exams on Friday, and we had an assembly like this, and the principal came on and said, oh, we're starting our exam on Monday. We're going to use this Friday to study for the exam. My friends and I, we walked up to 4 miles to school, so we decided to go walk back home and go study at home in our own pace. So we went through the basketball field behind our school that I didn't even know was there. We were walking out, and then the coach saw us and called my friend and I. We started running because we thought he's going to report us back to our principal because we should be in school studying like the principal said. So we started running, and he said no, he wanted to see if we want to play basketball. I have never heard the term basketball in my life. I was a soccer player. From day one, we played soccer everywhere. I was a good goalie. So never played basketball, never heard basketball, don't even know what it was. But I was quitting school after that because I couldn't afford to go. So I needed something to kill time with. I needed something to buy time with while my friends are going to school. So I told him yes, that I'll come play basketball after school. Went to play basketball, didn't have the right shoes because never heard of the sport, didn't even know what kind of shoes to wear. But also, when I play soccer, we play with bare feet in the middle of the street. It was fun that way. So went to basketball. Most of us were playing with barefoot while we dribble. And Nigeria is super hot, close to the Sahara Desert. So imagine playing in a hot weather on a concrete floor. Your feet will be burning, but it was also fun. So I heard of this camp called Access to Success. I heard they gave out free shoes. The camp was run by Mr. Andrew Loveday. He played at Davidson back in '08 with Stephen Curry. They had a good run at Davidson, so every year he comes back, Who's for Hope, just like this. He brings shoes from friends and families and teammates from here and take them back to kids that can't afford or that don't own a pair of shoes in Nigeria. So I heard about this camp. They said they're giving out shoes. So I was going for the shoes because I know I just started playing. There's no way I would get anything from the camp other than the shoes that they're giving. Went to the camp. There were over 500 people attending the camp. So I didn't think he was going to find me or think there's enough shoes that will go around. But during registration, he looked at me and gave me a pair of shoes because I didn't have the right shoe. I wasn't even ready for camp. So the moment he gave me the shoes, I just made a U-turn and I started running because I'm like, I came for the shoes, I got my shoes, I'm leaving. And he was like, are you not staying for the camp? I'm like, no, you're going to change your mind and take the shoes back because that's not something you see every day growing up in Nigeria, someone giving you an expensive pair of shoes. I live off of $3. We couldn't afford the shoes, so someone give you a brand new, expensive shoes. I'm running away with it before you change your mind. He was like, you have to stay. The camp was way beyond just basketball camp because we have an empowerment section in it where we get to talk about, more than just an athlete, what it takes to be a student athlete and how to take care of yourself and also study the Word of God during the camp. Then after the camp, 2 weeks later, I was sleeping with the shoes. I wore the shoe to church, my basketball shoe, the red and white over there. I wore it to church, wore it to my friend's house. I really wanted the entire neighborhood to know I got a shoe that day. So everyone had to see my shoe, and if you don't see it, I'll take it off and make sure you see my shoe. So that's how proud and happy I got that pair of shoes. A couple of weeks later, I got a call from him, and he asked if I wanted to further my education in the United States. I told him, my parents live off of this amount. I can't go to school. I just dropped out. That's why I was even playing basketball. I can't attend school here in Nigeria. What made you think I can afford an expensive place like the United States? So he said, Access to Success will partner with some schools, and they give financial aid to help that. So I let him, after talking to my parents, we decided to start the process. We prayed about it, and October, November of 2014, I was in an airplane, my first ever, never left my city. The first time I left my city was in an airplane. Don't even understand how those things stay up in the air without something holding them up. I was scared. For 12 hours, I was in the airplane on my way to pursue my dream in the United States. That's how it started, with a pair of shoes, and this is where I am, and it's still hard to believe. Did my junior year and senior year of high school at Archbishop Carroll down in Washington, D.C. Played AAU, got a full scholarship to pursue my education at Winthrop University down in South Carolina. Then graduated early, did a lot of summer program, went to Bradley University to get my master's. I am the first in my family to ever got their master's and finished their education. That is to say, that dream, my present state right now, started because someone gave me a pair of shoes. And that started because someone donated that pair of shoes to be given to me. And that made me keep pursuing my dream, keep practicing, keep praying. And now I'm here. So, again, I want to thank you guys for that pair of shoes that you're donating or you're thinking of donating, because it will help another Uche like me maybe not come to the United States, but also help them keep pursuing their dream and keep believing that someone out there is hoping and also praying for them. Thank you very much.
Awesome. At Access to Success, we use shoes not only to just provide hope, but also as a window into building trust with our community. Uche wanted to run away the first time she got a pair of shoes because she was like, oh, maybe they'll decide that they found the wrong person and want to take them back, or was going to make her pay for them. But that's one of the ways we build trust with our community, so we can bring them into the rest of our programs and provide that education and other things. Any questions for Uche? It can be about anything. It can be about playing basketball. It can be about growing up in Nigeria. It can be about A2S. You want to tell them about that first flight? There's a funny story that goes with that.
Oh, yeah. So,
Who's been on an airplane before? Okay, cool. Yeah, y'all will understand this. This is funny.
I have never been on an airplane, and it was 12 hours long, so just imagine how frightened I was. And I've never seen a white butter before. I don't even know, our butter is usually yellow, kind of. So I got on a plane and they gave me this square-like white butter. And the only thing white that I've seen was vanilla ice cream. So they gave me the white butter, and I was sitting next to this lady. They gave me a white butter and a bread. So I just opened the stuff and dumped the entire butter in my mouth. And the lady looked at me, and I have to play it off because at this moment I'm like, okay, this is butter, okay. So I was nodding my head, and she was looking at me like, are you okay? Who eats butter like that? And I'm like, so I took the napkin and I dab, and I spit it out. And then I threw it away. So that was one experience to try stuff before dumping the whole thing in your mouth. So, yeah.
Any other questions? Yeah.
So I work for Access to Success as their missions program coordinator. So I help with their basketball camp. I'm in charge of that because being that middle person between the U.S. and the Nigeria, I've been to school. I also help the scholars. We have about 7 scholars that are in the United States from Nigeria that are schooling. My brother is one of them. We have another scholar, Esosa. She's 6'5". She goes to Proctor Academy. We have another one in high school at Gaston Christian. She's 6'5" also in high school. And we have 2 other scholars. You don't have to play basketball. We have Jennifer. She's graduating from University of Lynchburg right now. She's not an athlete. And then we have another one at Covenant Day. So, and we have one at Harvard.
Yeah, Harvard. Yeah. We have one play football at UNC Chapel Hill. Are y'all in the same conference or play against Covenant Day or Gaston Christian? Yeah. Okay, yeah. So y'all might remember Iffy played for Covenant Day last year. He just graduated. He's the one who's at Rice University. That's her brother. And then Isosa is the one who's currently at Proctor Academy. She also graduated from Covenant Day last year. So you may have seen them. And then Happy is currently at Gaston Christian. Yeah, so it's kind of cool.
What was the biggest culture shock?
The weather, the food, and the school.
So everything.
So yeah, so everything, yeah. So when I came in November, late October, early November-ish, and I landed in New York. I've never seen snow, and I don't understand white stuff from the sky. So it was one of the biggest things. Just seeing white stuff everywhere, and then the cold it's hot in Africa, so you can just imagine going from heat to cold immediately. And then the food was another shock because our food is completely different, but now I love mac and cheese and chicken Alfredo, go to. And then the school, I think I explained this with the last group, is back in Nigeria, when the bell rings, the teacher is the one that moves around. So when you have math first period and you have English second period, when the bell rings, the teacher leaves and the next teacher comes in and teach. And then in the US, the student do the moving. So my first time in class, the bell rings and I'm still sitting down. Everyone left the class and the teacher do you have questions? I said, no. He was like, are you going to your next class? I said, no. So he was like, you have to go to your next class. And I'm like, no, I have English next. He was like, yes, you have to go to your next class. So we went back and forth, and then he was like, no, you do the moving. We stay, and the class come to us. So that was another big shock for me. And other than the fact that sometimes you guys talk fast, but yeah. The language wasn't that far off, but it's just talking fast. And you guys are so nice, so yeah.
What about your living situation?
Oh yeah, so I grew up with 5 siblings, including me. So we live in a box pretty much. So we all sleep based on, according to your height, so it's not that far, and we sleep in one bed, all 5 of us. So when I first got here, my host family gave me my own room for the first time. It was a big deal. I kept asking, so am I sharing the room with? And she was like, no, it's just yours. I'm like, no, but who else is sharing the room, because it's even bigger than my entire house. So she was like, no, this is just your room, your bed, everything in here is yours. So when I first talked to my parents, I was like, you would not believe I own my own house right now. And and she was like, what do you mean? I'm like, no, the room is bigger than our living room and bedroom combined together. So I own a house in my parents' house. So that's the living situation. It was cool. So it's fun that you have your own room.
Any other questions?
So our visa, I usually go back when I have to renew my visa, so we're given 2 years. So I haven't been back since 2019 because of the whole pandemic then, but I'm going this summer, but I usually go home every 2 years. So.
And now with your current position, you'll go every year?
Yeah, with my current position, I get to go every year. So.
Did you speak English or have knowledge of English before you moved here?
So we have over 500 tribal language, but we were colonized by British. So we have that British background. In school, we have English language as a subject that we have to take, and then we have literature. So that kind of like helped prep me for English. So yeah. Yes.
What do you miss most about Nigerian culture?
The festivals. So I think every December time, there's something called the New Yam Festival, because when you harvest, so every fruit, it's kind of like every fruit has their season. So when it's time for the yam, a tuber of yam, so when it's season, the first yam, we have to celebrate it because it means more food. So it's a whole big celebration. And also the Christmas. Christmas in Nigeria, it's different, because every Christmas you get to see your grandparents. That's probably the only time you get to spend like the entire summer break, Christmas break with your grandparents. So I get to see all my cousins. It's like my dad extended family and my mom extended family all in the same place. So I miss family and the celebration of just unity. So, and the weather too. That's one part I miss about Nigeria. It's always hot. Love it hot. Any more questions?
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much. We appreciate what you're doing to help us out.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, guys, good morning. Hope everybody's having a great first day, even though it's Wednesday. I wish every week kind of started with Wednesday. So let's thank Laura and Uchi one more time for coming this morning. Okay, so let me kind of give you how Southlake is going to do Hoops for Hope this year. So I'm going to kind of give you guys an overview of what that's going to look like. So Hoops for Hope, our campaign is going to kick off March 6th, so not next week, but the next. And we're going to be collecting gently used or new tennis shoes for Hoops for Hope, for Access to Success to be able to send to Nigeria. So as we go through these next couple of weeks in preparation, if you know you have shoes in your closet, or if your parents have shoes, if your grandparents have shoes, like one year my mom donated some tennis shoes she didn't wear anymore, you guys are going to start collecting those at your house. And then you guys are going to bring them in the week of March 6th to be collected here at school. And then during that week, we are not going to have a special chapel or anything like that. We're going to do something a little bit more fun, I think. I have a couple of seniors, basketball players, that are helping me plan a faculty versus student basketball game that we are going to have during school one day. So more information will come out. If you think that you might be interested, faculty, in participating, let me know. Students, I'm going to give you guys a go-to later in the week of who you're going to go to say that you might like to play. So we have that going on. And for the shoe collection, there's going to be bins in the upper school lobby. There'll be bins in middle school and lower school. This will be an all-school campaign. Over the years, I believe, and I don't have my numbers right in front of me, but usually we collect over, I want to say 200 pairs of shoes over the last couple of years. So our goal as SMF, our goal that we're kind of setting for this is we would like to collect 200 pairs of new or gently used shoes this year again, so that we can continue with this partnership with blessing them with that. Charlotte, Katie, am I missing anything? Is that everything? Okay.
Thank you. That was such an encouraging, inspiring story. Thank you so much, Ushay, for coming. Okay, a couple announcements, and I'm going to let you seniors go. The first announcement.